Thanks to the support as a channel member, John Howell. Yes, I may have completely changed the tactic to accommodate one player, but he's quite good. That one player being Lorenzo Mertens, who, as you can see by his natural positions, didn't really fit into the 4-3-3 that we were playing before. We could play him a little bit deep, but it didn't really work. We could play him up front, but we're stacked with our strikers. We could play him on the right wing, but there's better options for him there. This is his position. We've switched to a 4-2-3-1, and it's fair to say he's thriving. 9 goals from 10 starts in all competitions, 6 from 11 in the league, a 7.44 average rating in the Premier League, a 7.57 average rating overall. And yeah, he's really very good. He's already considered to be a world-class player at just turned 20 years old. He's still got the Wonder Kid label, but my scouts are already saying he's world-class. He is going to be one of the best players in the world. And we've got him here at Wimbledon, and it's bananas. And that's why we've started the season as well as we can. I mean, to be fair, we've started the season the way you would expect us to. We've beaten the teams we're better than. We've lost against the teams that are better than us, which means that after 11 games, we're 6th in the Premier League. We are only, one win off of 3rd place, and we've actually got a game in hand on everybody above us other than Aston Villa, and presumably Aston Villa are going to have a little bit of a wobbly bottle at some point because obviously they're Aston Villa. They're not going to win the league. Southampton, another interesting one being in there, but as you can see, Lorenzo Mertens, 3rd best player in the league on average rating at 7.44. Ramiro Herrera, by the way, settled straight in as top assist maker in the Premier League. He might not be scoring loads of goals, but he is bringing in those around him in this very, very beautiful attacking setup that we've got. We're actually going to be playing Kasongo for a little run of games because he's had a little bit of a moan. But Herrera has been in that spot and has been having a lovely old time. Today we play Wrexham. It's Wimbledon versus Wrexham in the Premier League. What a ridiculous future. And then we'll do a little time jump and play another game somewhere down here, and hopefully get us through most of the way to the January transfer window in today's episode. So this is our team for the game against Wrexham. We're giving Sadibi a little bit of a run out in goal just to continue to see if he is maybe the long-term option. I don't think he is. But we've played him in a few matches against a weaker opposition, because Palacios obviously is only here on loan, and he hasn't been that great either, to be honest. So forget long-term option. I don't really know who my first choice goalkeeper is now, and we don't really have the money to do anything about it in January either, unless we sell first. So Sadibi's going to be in goal. We've then got a back four of Conde, Gomes, Cruz, and Menacho. That's a combined height of our centre-back partnership of at least 13 feet. They're both big boys. Coppins and Salcedo also massively benefiting from this system change, because Coppins, we were playing at centre-back because we couldn't fit him in at central midfield, at defensive midfield, sorry, or when we did play him at central midfield, we ended up having to play Salcedo further forward. But playing with the double pivot means we can play both of them in their natural roles. A ball-winning midfielder and a playmaker sat in front of the back four allows those wing-backs to push on a little bit better. This system just fits this squad. It's almost as if I do my transfers to my preferred system almost without realising it. But it's Coppins and Salcedo in midfield, and then Esqueda, Mertens and Yang behind Kasongo up front. The reason we have to keep Kasongo happy is because obviously he's a homegrown at club player, and we do have a little bit of an issue with homegrown at club players. So as much as I would be all for binning Kasongo off if that kind of stuff didn't matter, and weirdly, this is the only continent where it has mattered. We've been all around the world and we've never had to worry too much about this. But obviously we have to worry about it here. And yeah, I think we probably have to keep him happy. Maybe we'll switch his position up. Maybe we'll convince him to be happy with just kind of being a squad player. I mean, if he could play left wing, which I think is where we're training him to play at the moment, if we could get him out onto that left-hand side, yeah, we're training him to play on the left wing. Past Kev thinking the same way as current Kev for once. But I think that's probably the long-term vacancy for him. Once we've got Herrera or the other young Belgian whose name I can't remember, it begins with a C. Is it Cost? Where is he? Yeah, Cost. Assuming one of them ends up as the starting striker, Kasongo could carve himself out a career on that left-hand side, because Escueda's not going to be a long-term solution there because he's old compared to the rest. And look at Yang go. Plays it across to Escueda, who I say he's old. He's only like 26 himself, I think. He could easily be here for the rest of the save comfortably. But there is Lorenzo Mertens, 10 goals for him already. 50th league goal of his career as well at only 20 years old. He was completely wasted in central midfield, but marked out of the game at centre forward. This is his position. I mean, really, he's probably a shadow striker, the amount of goals that he scores. I don't really like to use a shadow striker. I think it's a bit nerdy, but he's all right in there as an attacking midfielder, linking up the play and still scoring loads of goals. I think he is our top scorer from that number 10 position. It's all jolly splendid. Right, Menacho nods it down to Cruz. Cruz very nonchalantly gives it back to Salcedo. And now we can get our attack moving again, once again through Yang and Cruz and Salcedo. There is a very South American feel to this team. You can tell I've been all over the world. We've got players from every continent in this team, I think. In fact, yeah, now we've got that big American lad who we signed on deadline day. And we do actually have representatives from all 5 continents that we've managed in. Mike Kasongo, he's our representative of Europe. We don't actually have many of them. I say we don't have many of them. We've got the Belgians. We've got our entire Belgian contingent. But yeah, if we brought the big American guy on, who again, names, it's Monday morning, names are escaping me. Woodbury. If we brought Woodbury on, we would have a player from each of the 5 continents on the pitch at the same time, which I think is very appropriate for the final stage of a Pentagon challenge, using all of that knowledge I've assembled through 20 years of travelling around the world winning things. That's how you do it, boys and girls. Wrexham are down to 10 men because they're a bunch of violent thugs, and we're going to score 8 or 9 goals today. Now we're facing 10 men. We were already thrashing them before. Gomez, by the way, at centre-back, 8th goal of the season for him. And there's your proof they're not all near post headers. The guy can finish as well. I mean, he's 6'5", 6'6", and about 28 years old. I don't know that a position changes in his future, but with finishing like this, I mean, he's a striker, isn't he? I mean, finishing a 4 apparently. He's only 6'4" as well. But yeah, get him playing centre forward. We've had 3 shots on target and scored 3 goals. What a contrast to some of the ridiculous finishing nonsense that we've had over the years in this save. But clearly this team, certainly against dodgy opposition like Wrexham, this team is definitely going to be qualifying for the Champions League this year. We are much better than the likes of this lot who aren't even in the relegation zone. The question is, are we going to win something along the way to getting into the Champions League? Could we potentially win the Premier League this year? I mean, with Mertens clicking, and obviously all the other rascals around him. I mean, Salcedo's done a great job there as well. If some of these youngsters with the high potential start to fulfill their potential based on all of the game time that they're playing, we genuinely could win the Premier League this season, whilst getting ourselves obviously into the Champions League. Win the Champions League next year. Why not? Imagine coming into Wimbledon and winning the Champions League within 3 years. That's how you do it, boys and girls. I mean, I'm probably not going to do that. I've allowed myself 5 years because the European Champions League is the hardest one to win, especially if you're managing a team that's not yet in it. It's really hard to win. We've had plenty of saves in the past where once you get into the Champions League, it still takes 4 or 5 years to win it from there because it is such a tough competition. But these youngsters that we've assembled here, that rebuild that we've done, now they're starting to click, and now we're in a system that suits them. They're starting to look very, very good. And we do have to mention that all of this obviously is we're only playing Wrexham. So let's not get too carried away. But we'll play someone better in the second episode. Someone that we're fighting for the title with, maybe. Right, Yang's picked up an injury. So Cost can come on the right-hand side today. He usually comes on up front. Coppens is going to come off and we're going to bring on Woodbury. So we now, I think, oh no, Yang's gone off. We don't have an Asian anymore. We're still not quite one of each. We'll get there. And Condi's going to come off as well for Leffy to come on, or Levent Effie, sorry, not Leffy. Levent Effie. We'll get better at names. Gomez has now picked up a knock, as has Salcedo. I mean, we might as well just make the final changes then. So Gomez can come off for De Los Santos. And actually, we're going to leave Salcedo on and take off Mertens. We've got to protect Mertens. So Basinger can come on and play in that attacking midfield role. He is the big victim of the tactical change, obviously. I mean, he is our club captain now, and he can, after being retrained to play defensive midfield, play anywhere in that midfield three. He's just not natural in any of those positions, and the players that we've got playing there are just naturally better suited. I mean, it's almost as if we signed the players exactly for this system, like I say, whereas Basinger is kind of at first reserve for all of them. We can fit him in, but he's not like a natural deep lying playmaker as a defensive midfielder. He's not a natural attacking midfielder, so he's not quite as effective as some of the other chaps are, but very useful to have around. And there he is, dropping deep and showing that he can play a nice pass out to Cost, and now Menacho on the overlap, which he's definitely getting to do more of now. And Cost bursts into the area, plays it back to Basic, and that's a lovely goal. That is lovely football all round. And it's 4-0 now. It's not quite the 8 or 9 I expected us to score today when they went down to 10 men, but this is really nice football. Cost, I mean, just that burst of pace to get him into the area. I thought for a second he was going to shoot, but Basinger just in a little pocket of space, nobody looking after him. I guess that's the 11th man for Wrexham should have been marking him. And it's just an easy little tap home. 4-0, very comfortable. We're up to third in the league, only 3 points off the top of the Premier League. And I'm hoping at some point before Christmas, we've got a match against Villa or Chelsea or Arsenal that we can show you to see how we match up against the big boys. Now the youngsters are starting to settle in a little more, and team cohesion isn't as disastrous as it was. Because when we last played against the good teams, like we lost against Villa, we lost against Chelsea, we lost against Liverpool, this was all early days of both the players coming in, and then there it was early days of the new system. Whereas next time we are going to be a little bit more settled. We've got Man City and Man United. Are either of them? See, they're both kind of mid-table useless. I mean, we've got Southampton and Liverpool and Chelsea and Newcastle all in January. We might do Man City or Man United. We'll see. We'll see where we are. Well, we've made it all the way through to just after Christmas, and if we win here and other results go our way, we could celebrate the new year top of the Premier League. We have been in jolly nice form. That win against Reading, the one blip. We did lose against Manchester City, but we always seem to lose against the big teams, which doesn't bode well for this game against Manchester United, but that's the Premier League table. 18 games played, 37 points, 2 points off the top of the league. Lorenzo Mertens now second, only 0.03 rating points behind first place, and last time I checked had made it into the Media Dream 11. So for a 20-year-old at Wimbledon to be in the Media Dream 11 as a striker gives you some context as to just how good that guy is and how good he's going to get. We need more like that, please. How much did we pay for Mertens? £24.5 million. Absolute bargain. 14 goals from 17 starts in all competitions is bonkers. The board have celebrated my transfer prowess by giving me another £25 million to spend, and I've already spent most of it. We put a load into wage budget and the rest into transfer budget so that we could buy a goalkeeper. Luka Glisovic is the goalkeeper we wanted to buy back in the summer, and we just ran out of money for him. He's 6'4", and you can't teach that. He's 29 years old. He's a German international. He is the best goalkeeper currently available for anything remotely close to a reasonable price. So we're getting him for £22 million. Most of it, or £28 million, sorry. Most of it on the never, never. We're also loaning out one of our youngsters, and that will leave us going into January with still a little bit of spensies to do and a couple of players potentially who might want away from the club. We've got all these guys who weren't registered for the Conference League squad, which we'll sort. But there's a couple of others who are a little bit unhappy with game time. Some of the loans might go back. We might get offers for the likes of, I don't know, who's not playing a lot of football. Kawasaki's not playing a lot of football wherever he is. Can't even find him. Does he still exist? There he is. He's only started 10 games. So, I mean, on that note, Menacho's only started 10 games. What have I promised Menacho that he'll get in the Conference League squad? That makes sense. But yeah, let's play a football match. We're playing Manchester United. We do have a couple of injuries. Cost and Yang both injured at the same time. Cost can come off the bench. Yang not fit to play at all. We have been playing Cost up front and Yang on the right. With Yang injured, Cost would have been the first one to move out to the right. So we're having to shuffle things around a little bit up front. We've also lost Salcedo to injury as well. So it's a little bit shuffled around and all over the place. We've never played that front four together before, I don't think, but fingers crossed. Mertens just keeps being awesome, although he's also struggling a little bit for fitness because he's probably playing too much football because he's the best player at the club by a gazillion miles. But it's Palacios in goal, a back four of Jaramillo, De Los Santos, Cruz and Rincon, Basinger and Coppens in midfield, Escueda, Mertens and Herrera behind Kasongo up front. Having Herrera out wide reminds me of one of my original plans when we were still up the colon and deciding how we could accommodate him and some of the other strikers that we had. Playing him out wide was an option we considered at the time. We also realised at the time that he was the best centre forward we had and everyone else were the ones who got pushed out wide. Unfortunately, today, Kasongo is not able to play wide. He hasn't learnt to play on the left wing yet. And even if he had, our left wing is fit and playing, so it wouldn't be much use anyway. Whereas Herrera is theoretically accomplished on both the left and the right wing. Not that we've ever really seen him have a good game in either of those positions. Mertens, look at him go. What a footballer we've got. I mean, we knew how good he was going to be. We gave him the number 10 shirt. But, I mean, he is just absolutely absurdly good. He is on another level. I don't remember a player that I've brought in who's had this amount of impact in a save in a long, long time. Those of you who've watched my Twitch saves over the years might remember Sven de Silva, who similarly was Belgian, came into, I can't even remember who we were managing at the time. It was someone rubbish like Wimbledon who weren't supposed to be any good. Sven de Silva came in and basically turned us into Champions League winners. And that's exactly what Mertens is doing to this Wimbledon team. He is just so far above the level of everyone else at the club, but he raises our performances and makes everyone around him better too. And because of him, we've just gone 1-0 up because Rincon plays it into Mertens, who took an incredible couple of touches, forces a flappy save out of the goalkeeper, and Herrera is there to tuck away the rebound because he's a centre forward. What was that? His 11th goal of the season. He's not even been our regular starting striker, but the man will score goals whenever you put him on a football pitch, and apparently it doesn't matter what position you put him on in, he'll find a way to be lurking in that 6-yard box, tapping in goals, as you've just seen him do there. And now the onus is on Manchester United to get themselves back into the game. They are, along with Man City, trying to steal all my backroom staff as well. Both coaches and scouts. We're forever having them be robbed off us by Man City and Man United. We are top of the league. As it stands right now, we are top of the Premier League. Dante Cruz just being tall there is very, very handy because he was able to nod that one clear. But this would be a delicious situation for us to be in at the halfway point of the season. Arsenal have gone and ruined it for everybody. To be fair, we do have a game in hand over them, so we could leapfrog back above them again. That was a weird place to start the highlight, back with the keeper when it was a throw in the opposite half. But here's Mertens again, just dancing away from players. Oh, he's just too good. I mean, genuinely, I think we've stumbled across one of the best players in the world here. The ball is just glued to him. When we brought Yang in, we thought we'd accidentally signed an elite level player when we probably weren't ready for it. Yang pales into insignificance alongside Mertens, who's still so young. If we can keep him fit and keep him at the club, we need to check he's not got a release clause because this could be a disaster. But if we can keep him fit and keep him here, there is no release clause. He's on a 5-year contract. That boy will lead us to the Premier League. To the Premier League? We're already in the Premier League. The Champions League. That's what we're trying to win. I remember now. This is a Pentagon challenge. But Mertens, absolutely ridiculous. And Palacios actually having a pretty good performance for us in what's likely to be his final match for the club, because Blackburn are already in a little bit of a mood that I haven't started him every single match. So we're probably just going to send him back in January when our new keeper arrives, and the new keeper should be here before the next game. So he'll probably just arrive and slot straight into the team. And this is probably the end of Palacios, even though it's been one of his better performances. He's been a little bit hit and miss. That's why we weren't using him all the time. Right, we've now got tired little legs. So we are... Should we bring Cost on? I think Cost is probably the guy to come on. Even though he's not fully fit. Mertens, we know, is tiring. So Kawasaki can come on for him and should really be able to play that role perfectly. He was a regular for us in central midfield last season. Naturally, he is a striker. There's no reason why Kawasaki shouldn't be a top player playing there as the attacking midfielder. Kasongo is now injured as well. And players are dropping like flies. Right, yeah, Girelli can come on. Herrera now gets his own way and gets to go up front. Coppens is going to come off for Woodbury. And then for my final change, oh, there you go, Rincon needs to come off as well because he's also tiring. And now we just need to, hold on, we've somehow dropped back down to third. Other teams ruining my day, but we are still in that lovely situation that I like to be in, where if we win every game, we win the league. Which is nice at the halfway point of the season to be able to say that. There you go. We moved back above Liverpool, who have just conceded against Southampton. Aston Villa absolutely thumping Wrexham today as well. But it shows how well we've been playing, that we've still got a much better goal difference than them. In fact, we've got a much better goal difference than everybody. And we end the first half of the season second in the league. We should be looking good for Champions League, boys and girls, which is very exciting. Kasongo's picked up a knock, and we are ready to continue the rebuild. We've already got a goalkeeper coming in, and with more money to spend, if we could let someone like Kawasaki go for big money, maybe we go find another defender, because theoretically we're still a little bit weak defensively, although most of it is players with loads of potential. Maybe another centre-back wouldn't be upsetting to bring in. I love this man already. Oof. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. Thank you very much to my beautiful Patreon backers. Couldn't remember what they were called there. And thank you very much for watching.